This is Alan Brody, Everton fan, and you're listening to the DU Football Show. It's a 9-hour podcast.
It is a 9-hour podcast, typically.
He's not
wrong. He's not wrong.
I mean, it left a little bit to be desired there, to be honest.
You know, I would assume that was recorded at the Dark Horse.
No, he reminded me. He had sent me that like a month ago at the Dark Horse.
Well, the 20 for 20 show is definitely a 9-hour podcast.
Oh, big time.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smells of Malört. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way, chose fatherhood over fandom for once. My co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham.
I only saw about 3 seconds of Tegan's game. I had my phone in one hand on City and my iPad in the other on Arsenal and my AirPod in on Arsenal. Yeah.
But you were there.
I was there.
We're just gonna say you were father of the year.
I was there.
She doesn't need to worry about that. That's
About
you're okay.
15 seconds late for kickoff because Cameron was being a dickhead.
Oh, shocker! The toddler, a dickhead.
Yeah.
No, say it isn't so.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till she's a teenager. You're gonna be like, remember when she was a toddler and she was manageable?
She already thinks she's a teenager. She threw a shoe at her mother the other day.
Damn.
Oh yeah, she got it big time for that. Yep.
We're recording at the Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night, but for only 2 more times this season. Should you want to chat with us, there's many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. As always, it's at DU Football Show on all the social media and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. You should also make sure that you're a member of the closed group. It's Drunkard United FC on Facebook. That's where all the hashtag bants go down.
You really do love that word bants, don't you?
do. I told y'all, I'm sticking with it.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So is the red-blooded Americans we are. We've got to have a drink in our hand throughout this show. And every single show, Mr. Graham, the gin binge rolls on. What are we drinking?
Yes, it does. This is, we're not revisiting. We haven't had this one yet. The brand we are revisiting, Warner's, which we had a couple of weeks ago. But this is the raspberry flavored gin. Jamie, fruity, and vibrant at 80 proof. A third of this vial is real raspberry and blackberry juice.
Just
That's
like
a very odd odor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The odor, I'm kind of with you.
I don't know what it is.
Taste is fantastic.
No, it tastes great, but the odor is really...
Elderflower.
Is that what it is?
1/3 of every bottle is real berry juice, jam-packed with fruity flavor, infused with local hand-picked elderflower, and distilled on our family farm in the British countryside.
Wish I known I had elderflower tonic in the fridge. I would have grabbed that. Instead,
I might have killed it. What did you do it with?
I did the light Indian tonic. I just wanted to go with something that wasn't too quinine.
In my opinion, I think that's a better choice because the elderflower really... I mean, that smell, you're right. That's exactly what it is. It's very weedy.
Yep. It's delicious. I fucking love this.
Really, really fantastic. Really
I'm
fantastic.
so glad I represent this.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more body to it. And you said they had some other flavors as well?
They do, but we don't have them here. We only have the unflavored gin. They're rhubarb, and this one available in Maryland.
Got it.
At the moment.
Is this to kind of go against the Whitley Neal brand for the most part? Kind of same idea? Very good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is absolutely delightful.
I know, Taylor's saying your gin smells of elderberries.
Yeah.
It's not elderberry there, Chief.
No. He's quoting a movie.
Oh.
Now go away. I shall be forced to taunt you a second time.
Careful, might get flagged for copyright again.
That was
You
Sattery, my
never
friends.
fail to. I mean, you never disappoint.
I try my best.
To disappoint, we know.
Yeah, that's what I do.
We just keep lowering our standards.
Look.
If this was a proper job, you'd have been fired long ago.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
They're already the guys are already jumping into Arsenal jokes, and it's like, yeah, no, guys, I'm up first.
I'm the one driving the bus. So what does it say about you two fuck knuckles? Let's have a good show, everybody.
What the fuck, knuckle?
Oh, if you don't know, your wife is not enjoying things.
First of all, yes, she is. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't love surprise anal? Keep your fuck knuckle.
If we could title that the show, we would. But
JK.
Boys, do your worst. Do your worst. You all know that's coming. I very much
I'm
like
just thinking of all the blues people that may be checking out for the first time ever, and they're like,
that's where they're going. I warned them on the Blues show. I was like, look, we just say really wretched shit on this show. It's just how it goes. In the final week of the season, and before we get into the final day, there was a little bit of catching up that had to do, and it honestly would shape the finale's storyline. Aston Villa 3, Liverpool 3, Man City 2, Tottenham 0, Chelsea 2, Brighton 1, Man United 3, Newcastle 2. And all of these games, they all had some kind of impact on how the table was going to line up. None of these were dud matches for the most part.
Yeah, basically. It was essentially all of the teams that needed to do their job, didn't want to wait till the final day, just decided to get it done.
Get the job done.
Except Spurs, obviously.
Right. Well,
Fucking.
Although I would say Villa tried all they could to fuck that one off.
Emi Martinez tried all he could to fuck that one up.
Yeah. And then down 3-1, and
Yeah,
it took
big time.
two goals from Duran in the 80th.
One of them was a fucking nice goal.
Oh, it was a peach.
Can't beat
my
it.
God. You're just like, how the fuck he scored that one? Like, on the... Just wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was wild.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. Great comeback. Spoiling Klopp's party to a degree, which I enjoyed.
The one major thing that it did, regrettably for you, is it eliminated Spurs from any chance at Champions League.
Right.
And you needed them when they then played City the next day
To have a chance. Yeah.
That game.
Have a chance.
And in fairness to them, they played defensively. They tried to stymie.
But that's not how they play.
Right.
Their recent results against City, if you think back to like the 3-3, for instance, when they were down 2-0 at halftime or whatever it was, they try to go toe-to-toe with City.
Right.
So why change your tactics?
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like you kind of wanted to lose.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, one would say that
Documents, Sam? One would say documents?
I would say that that Son wanted the children to see City win the title and not Arsenal, and that's why he missed that shot.
I just think that in the kind of North London area where Spurs is, there's a couple more gay frogs today. That's all I'm saying.
Sattery.
That's all I'm saying.
And
it's an Alex Jones bit if you're new to the show we make fun of.
It took them until the second half to get the goals, but they did finally get the goals. And I would say City never looked truly uncomfortable.
At all. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah, they looked like they were ready
The only
to go.
time they looked uncomfortable was when Son was bearing down on goal and he fucked it off. So
yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Wednesday, there was a lot to actually play for because three of these four teams are all battling for the final European spots, which, by the way, when we're all done here,
it's still not settled.
It's not decided yet. There's still the FA Cup, and that can change everything.
I mean, this is certainly like, obviously, a bit of foreshadowing here. Luton needing to overturn a 12-goal swing to stay in the league.
Right.
Size effort from Manchester United in that FA Cup. I just can't see it happening.
That's going to be in the EFL show. We'll talk about it there. No worries. Yeah, but you're right. Very short discussion. No.
What's your prediction? City wins.
But here's the thing. Chelsea, before the weekend comes to the end, they find themselves sitting in what will be at least a European spot. What European spot that is still to be determined.
Yeah.
but in a European spot. So then going into the weekend, all they had to do, hold serve, which is a great place to be in. And for me,
especially when you've got the momentum that they had. I mean, after finishing out their weekend game, they were 5 straight wins.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
That's amazing. From a team that was so inconsistent to show that consistency when it really counted was massive.
Exactly.
And it does a lot for their confidence going into the next season.
So one last thought, and then we get into, obviously, the meat and potatoes of what the show is tonight, which is the final day. Was that United just finally waking up for a moment, or was that Newcastle just fucking it off?
I think a little bit of both, because United weren't as devastating as they probably can be. So honestly, I think it's a little bit of both. I think it was more one of those, like, one eye open on the couch, you realize your kid's fucking up, so you hit him on the forehead.
The whack.
Yeah, I think that's kind of,
stop fucking around.
Just settle down,
yeah,
boy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it was more of that than it was like, oh, we're a cohesive unit now.
Right, exactly.
Because they aren't.
No.
They very much aren't.
Still stick with the fact that they are frauds. So going into the final game of the season, City's on top by what, 2 points at that point?
2 points, but behind on goal differential.
But behind on goal differential. Villa had finally secured Champions League.
Yeah, with their draw and Tottenham's loss midweek, 4th was finished.
Yep, Tottenham was safe in 5th. Chelsea was finally in the driver's seat. And it looked like, as far as the relegation battle went, there was still a chance for Luton, but it was going to need a 13-goal swing.
Herculean effort.
Yeah, so, but what it did was set us up for the final week of the season.
Yep.
The stage is set. All 20 clubs kick off at the same time. The title is on the line, and it all depends on,
Oh, no, go ahead. It all depends on.
Well, if West Ham can... Oh, nope, Phil Foden already scored minute 30 into the game.
I was going to set the stage for you.
Yeah, no.
I had iPad open on the coffee table on City, muted.
Uh-huh.
I had Arsenal on the television all the way to max.
And goal.
Yeah. And I there was a break in play.
Yeah.
I went... cleared my nose like this and looked down, and Phil Foden sliding in the car. I was like, fuck!
I mean, immediately, we're all in the dark horse, and everybody's just like, City's already won the title.
Yeah.
Like, the whole room said it.
And so I just went... I sat there for about 2 minutes in disbelief that it only took 90 seconds. It actually was 72 seconds, by the way. And then just shut my eyes. I was like, fuck it. Just shut my iPad. And was like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy the last day of the season. Because there was, as I woke up, just a kind of an air of inevitability around it. It was always going to be a tall order.
Right. Exactly.
So I didn't really have any actual expectations. But I thought my excitement would last longer than 90 seconds.
Yeah,
I thought the drama would last longer than 90 seconds.
No, not at all.
Sure didn't. But there was still somewhat of a chance for Luton.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there?
I mean, was there?
I mean, there's mathematically there's a tight chance.
And then Chris Wood scores in the second minute. Now you're gonna need a 14th goal, cunts.
We're like, okay, the stage is set for everything. Goal. Don't even worry about it. Just go home. You can go home now. Go back to bed. It's already decided.
Especially last week, we're all bigging up. Oh, the final week's gonna be great. You still got all these different things. Well, actually exciting 3-3 draw with Villa Liverpool, a boring ass 2-0 win for City over Tottenham.
Yeah,
there's 4th and 5th decided, and then you come down to this, and you're like, all right, we still got the title and relegation to worry about. Right. It'll be nope. 2 minutes, 2 fucking minutes. It's over.
We're like. Already determined.
I can't believe it.
Already fucking determined.
I couldn't believe it.
We're going to have a little bit of a theme here. Another quick goal. In the 9th minute, Mateta scores and puts Palace up on Villa 1-0.
Yes, he did. That would be one of many goals he got that day. Because in the 14th minute, Chris Wood scores again to put Forest 2-0 up. You're going to need a 15th goal, guys. And then Kulusevski scored to put Spurs up 1-0. The Blades have now, I think, equaled at that point, wasn't it, the most goals ever conceded in a single season at 102?
Yes.
At that stage. I think that's correct.
Yep.
Arsenal had already had some chances, And then Phil Foden scored again.
And that's what was funny. It was you guys were knocking at the door. Pickford made a couple of decent saves, and it was like, but you guys were clearly the aggressor, right? And you just no, they're already down 2-0. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, and
because at least one goal, you're like, okay, well they can score one and maybe level it
as
out.
unlikely as it would have been to claw your way back to 1-1 and then hold on for a draw at that point, that was even more unlikely than holding out for a 0-0, I thought, right? Once City went 2-0 up, it truly was done and dusted. I didn't think there would be a way West Ham would be able to score 2 goals.
No, they're not scoring 2. They're just not scoring 2.
At least without getting, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 City players sent off.
Right. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, then everybody went, oh, City's already won the title in the first minute. Then everybody went, oh, yeah, City's definitely won the title already.
It's over. There was a moment there after the Arsenal stadium, after the Emirates got wind of City's second goal. The camera focused in on a section of Arsenal fans. You know how they kind of focus in on the crowd and you can see like 15 people in your television screen. So they're pretty detailed and everything, right? You could just see one guy turn to the other guy and just kind of want to just go drink. Like,
we should go drink now.
Fuck it.
Mel, what do you got for us?
Oh, it was just Taylor, a jagged little Phil.
You know he's going to be punny tonight. You know he's going to be punny.
What? Just don't retire? And then you can save all the sweet material for next year? You have to get it all out in one thing.
Oh. So as we were saying, Newcastle, Chelsea, and Man U were all still fighting for Europe, and Chelsea are the first to strike as Concedo, finally, for his $100 million, scores a goal from 50 yards out in the 17th minute.
Hey, you know what? That's what you get. $2 million for every yard.
Yeah, Jesus.
Only goal he scored this season, and it's from inside the center circle on a fucking ridiculously terrible goalkeeping error.
Oh my God, it was
What
horrid.
are you doing?
Absolutely horrid. And in the 24th minute, Barnes gets a goal for Newcastle. So here you go. Newcastle and Chelsea are doing what they're doing, and
it's a lovely header as well. And
I will eventually, at some point, on the next page, talk about the other team because that's about what they offered.
The angled ball in, I think it was from Guimaraes to Harvey Barnes. It was an excellent ball, and you could just see exactly where it was going. He followed the ball flight and put his head through it and just stared at the spot that he was going at, and it was right that little postage stamp at the top left corner.
Yep, exactly.
Absolutely fantastic. I forgot. Sorry, it's taken a long time to mention this. It was Jurgen's last match, and Semedo did his part by getting sent off for Wolves in the 28th minute.
To
make it a little easier on McAllister to score just 6 minutes later to put the Reds 1-0 up. Luckily, Alexis McAllister didn't break his leg because that was fucking terrible.
Ooh, it was bad. I mean, it was a red. It was a red.
It was a red. And I'm sorry, Wolves, but that appeal's going to go fucking nowhere because you're the reason VAR exists, according to this. Initially a yellow card given, of course, but the week after Wolves announced that they're going to put to the General Assembly, which is all 20 owners, a kind of motion to scrap VAR altogether for the start of next season. VAR works, and it gets used against you again to upgrade that yellow to a red.
Normally, last game of the season, they'd have been like, nah, we don't need to go take a look at that. It's fine. It's a yellow card. Who cares? Let's keep the game going. Let's get this thing done. They went, oh, wait, they said what? Maybe you should take a little extra look at that one real quick.
Get rid of VAR, does he?
Well, did you want to make us lose jobs? I got you.
Yep.
Newcastle get a pair of goals from Murphy and Isak 2 minutes apart and then find themselves up 3-0 on Brentford, despite the fact that Brentford had a goal called back real early.
Oh, yeah.
They actually scored faster than City did, but the goal got
called back for offsides against Ivan Toney. Apparently, Palace decided to care in this match and take some momentum in the next season and go up 2 with Mateta scoring his second.
Yeah, you are going to... You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say it right now. Your top half of the table, 10th place, Crystal Palace boys and girls.
Yeah.
Tell me who had that on their bingo card.
No shit.
Not even Brajan had that on their bingo card.
No. If they could hold on to players this summer, they could be a European team. They'll be exciting next season.
Yeah, they could be a team that could maybe backdoor into Europe. Oh, absolutely, they
Problem
could
is they're going to get picked off left, right, and center.
They ain't keeping any of them. The sad part is Mateta got hot at the wrong time when everybody's going to notice, and his ass is getting signed too. They're losing all three of those fuckers. It's going to happen. Just telling you. That is definitely going to happen. At last, Arsenal is dominating. It's only a matter of time before there's a goal. Problem, Idrissa Gana Gueye scores, and he plays for Everton. Everton up 1-0.
What is this fucking farewell tour he's on where he's just scoring goals left, right, and center? Goals have never really been a part of his game.
What the fuck is he doing taking the set piece?
Fucking killed me.
We were doing all kinds of wackadoodle shit. We had Dom took a set piece. He took a set piece. We were just like, oh, whatever. We're just going out there.
Look, Sean Dice was the Oprah of set pieces.
He's like, you
get a set piece. You get a set piece.
Now, in fairness, he does take them for Senegal. He takes most of their set pieces for Senegal, but just fucking random. Not a good day at the office for Declan Rice. I mean, his body of work for the season. Foreshadow. He's gonna be number one on the signings for me. He's the difference maker for your team. But yesterday, he had a shit day at the office. Yeah. He did not look good.
No, and we have gone kind of the way of both Rice and Odegaard this season. When they play well together at the same time, we have pretty much not lost. Yeah.
Sorry there. Wanted to drink a little beer for this one because I'm about to be verklempt, so allow me to prepare myself. Kwanzaa taps a solid shot into the goal, and the Reds go up 2-0. Good news. Nothing else happens. Liverpool wins. Bye-bye, Jurgen. There we go. We don't have to talk about that fucker anymore. Big, bright, shiny teeth. You won 2-0 against a 10-man side that didn't give a fuck. So there you go. That's your career. Have fun. Bye.
I still have closing remarks.
You can say whatever the fuck you want about them. I have done my obligatory we talked about Liverpool on this show, and that is it, my friend.
All right. But you're saying there's a chance because Kudus scored with probably the best goal of the day.
He chipped it up to the foot. He bicycled. How the fuck did he do that?
If Crystal Palace's front three display on Sunday wasn't a come get me plea, this goal definitely was.
Oh, it definitely was.
The sheer audacity to attempt this at the home of the champions as well is absurd. It's just absolutely absurd.
Oh, you got the big Viking? Look what I can do. Boom.
It's just ridiculous. So that brought it to 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
I caught wind of that.
I
turned the City game back on my phone.
Yep.
And started watching again.
I mean, it was sexy.
It's big time sexy.
I got to take a pregnancy test.
Everyone in the bar stopped and went,
look at that. Yeah. And do you know what he said prior to the game in the pre-match? He said, my Ghanaian brother, Thomas Partey, texted me and said, Mohammed, you know what to do. Well, he did his part. You can't be mad at him. Just be mad at everybody else at West Ham. Now all the Gunners need to do is answer the call, and in the 43rd minute they do is Takahiro Tomiyasu makes it 1-1, popping up out of nowhere. He had 3 fucking shots on Sunday.
It's the most random. You're like,
it's very strange.
He scored?
Yeah. But I'll take it. It's perfectly fine with me. Luton and Fulham were playing a match, and then all the goals at the end of the half.
Jesus, everything fucking happened. And it was like from the 43rd minute to halftime.
No shit. A pair of, they're still in Fulham. It's funny how you wrote that. Goals from Traore and Jimenez sandwiched around a Chris Morris penalty. The Traore strike was one of the purest hit volleys I've ever seen in my life. It was not obviously of the quality of that Zidane against Leverkusen volley that went 1,000 feet in the air before he picked it out with his left foot.
Right.
But the actual contact of the ball with foot was extremely pure. And as big as that man is, I think that goal needs to be checked out for cracks.
What's funny about that is we all know he has that in his bag. We also know that he has in his bag, the ability to just run up and down the sideline
And do
aimlessly
nothing.
and do fuck all. That was absolutely crazy. Yep. And so with that, the first half has come to an end, my friend.
Yeah. Renewed optimism. I didn't talk to anyone really.
Yeah.
During the day, during the games, I didn't want to speak to anybody. I just wanted to focus on it. I was also at the field with Tegan. I had both machines operating, so there was no texting back and forth because I'd missed something.
Yep.
And then occasionally I'd watch my daughter play soccer.
All right, so it didn't take too terribly long. Janelt scored for Brentford, making it 3-1. So they're maybe going to have a little bit of a fighting chance.
That
back
was
in
a
there.
good goal as well.
Yeah.
The pass, especially to find him. I believe it was Johan Wisa.
Mm-hmm,
It was fantastic pass.
And then Sterling scores to go up 2-0, but only for them to turn right back around like a minute later and give up an own goal to make it 2-1.
Yeah, Chelsea did Chelsea it at that stage. That's absolutely true. Jimenez does it again and puts Fulham 3-1 up, but Doherty quickly scores to make it 3-2 as the Hatters aren't going away without one last fight.
Yeah. It's who they are. It's who they've been all season.
Which is ultimately, in my eyes, what's led to their downfall. I told you this how many weeks in a row now. They needed to be a bit more pragmatic, and they just weren't.
Mm-hmm. Then we have Palace come out swinging and in the second, and Eze scores in the 55th minute, and perhaps Villa has gone limp in this match.
I just don't think they gave a fuck, Villa, at all.
No.
Mel, any insight as to what your team was doing there?
No, I had flecked off to a rehearsal.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I didn't know what point during the game you left.
I left at halftime. I was going to leave later, but when I was sitting next to my mom at the bar, and I'm like,
yeah.
I'm leaving.
Okay.
and
What
no
score
one.
are we at with Villa? Are we at 4, 5, 4,
We're
0?
at
That was
3.
3. No one.
Yeah, you've got a long way to go, sweetheart.
Like, no one's paying attention to the Villa Crystal Palace game in the bar. No one, including my wife,
I'm
right?
not even looking.
And it's
I'm
just
seriously, I've watched none of
and
it.
I'm standing behind Jan. It's just Jan going, poking her, going, hey, we just scored.
Jan's only
Hey, we
watching
just
Crystal
scored.
Palace.
That is the only thing she's focusing on.
Yeah.
I
we
really
scored
think
again. We scored
she
again.
is the only person in the bar watching that match.
Yeah, she
And
was.
there was
Because the
two
fight for 10th, no one cares.
And there was another Palace person in
Oh,
there.
they care. 10th place is a big fuck deal for
well,
them.
yeah, I know it's better than 12th, but fuck it.
Yeah, it's not the same old, same old.
Yeah, so in the 59th minute, City go back up by 2. And of course, it's the daddy of the team, Rodri.
Rodri. It's always whenever they need the goal. It's always fucking Rodri.
It's always important. It's always of decent quality. Now, I personally think Areola could have done better.
Yeah, it looked like it might have hit somebody on the way through, and maybe
Possibly.
he had a hard time seeing it. But yeah, I'm with you. He could have probably.
He got a hand to
yeah,
it,
I
and
think
if
he
you
could have.
got that much of a hand to it, you should be tipping it around the post, in my view. So they're 3-1 up in the title, starting to look like it's all theirs.
So typically, this is something we would just not talk about, but it's the after effect of it all that has to be talked about. So Decore and Gabriel are kind of going at it. Gabriel kind of takes like a little bit of a swing at him from behind, and Decore just goes right through him because Decore definitely
He's a
has
dickhead.
Decore has that in his bag.
Yeah,
you want to
remember
take a
he
swipe at
choked
me?
out Tyler Adams.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on the ground. So he takes a swipe at Gabriel's legs. In all of his Brazilianness, even though he's a center back, decides to jump into the air, grab his knees, going cannonball. But the problem is he rolls over and lands on his shoulder, has to go out injured.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most Brazilian thing ever.
It's
Like,
not the brightest tool in the shed.
you're gonna get a yellow
Now-
card anyway. Like, he's gonna get the yellow card. You didn't need to accentuate it. It wasn't like it was gonna be a red. Like, it wasn't gonna be a red.
Yeah, so
And you hurt yourself in the process.
he's got the turkey teeth veneers. So while he's not the brightest tool in the shed, he definitely has the brightest teeth in the team.
It just made me giggle. It's like, you did all that, you dumbass, and you actually made the Brazil squad for Copa this summer, but you might ruin it by fucking
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be too hurt
yeah. It
in a
was
few days.
too hysterical. It
That was pretty bad.
It was about the most Brazilian thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it really was.
100%. Sheffield gave up goals 103-104 as they are now the team to hold the dubious record of having the most goals scored against them in a single season. That's Pedro Porro with another Thunderbolt. I should just call him Zeus from now on, because the only thing that he throws up are lightning strikes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, just absolute banger. And then Kulusevski scored the other for Spurs, and they actually just ended up seeing that out 3-0 win.
I was going to say, good news. We don't have to fucking talk about that game anymore. We're all done with it.
Yep. I'm so sick of Sheffield.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Mateta got his hat trick, and Ezzy got a brace. And Mel, would it interest you to hear that Palace was fucking...
Okay, so at this point, I am at rehearsals that started at 12:30. Okay? I see you pulling out. I'm trying to figure out how to put the camera on me while I'm talking to you guys.
And I want to say Elise had 3 of the
2 or
assists.
3 assists, yeah.
It's those front 3. They're doing everything.
So, again, I'm at rehearsal, doing pre-stuff. Actors are coming in, and my mother calls. Holy shit, guys, I got to take this. Hey, Mom, everything okay? Oh, yeah, Palace. We were up 5-0.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate
Thanks.
it, Mom. Good looking out.
How long did she stay at the bar?
She stayed till the end.
Did she?
Yep.
Did she have a good time?
It was cute. She bought a...
they won 5-0.
She bought a plate of fries because I hadn't ordered lunch yet, and I was going to order lunch. She's like, make sure you eat. I'm like, I'm gonna eat, Jan. I'm good.
She bought you fries?
Yeah, and she bought...
that's what you should be eating.
Yeah, I was like...
Sam's a 12-year-old boy. I know. All he needs is a side of fries. He's fine.
I mean,
we'll get some nuggies when you get home.
She has been hanging around children too long.
I did have a good amount of Westward coffees, and it definitely threw back a couple 2-3 red snappers there too. So
I'm so glad Hiram was driving you home.
Yep. All good. All good.
Well, in lieu of my Malört shot, because I didn't fucking watch the game either, a toast to Villanista Lindsay Williams, who got engaged on Sunday, and she fucked off the match also.
Hey.
Can I
Congratulations.
toast that with Malört?
Yeah.
I mean, they do in Chicago, but Mazel tov.
When it's coming from us,
Yeah.
they know it's going to be Malört.
Congratulations, Your Highness.
Yeah, very well done. Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn now.
Yeah, it is. When there's a big G next to it, it means it's
Yeah,
you.
so I wasn't looking at him. At the same time, Fulham is putting their match to bed with a Harry Wilson goal in the 69th minute. Draw hard around it. They went on to beat Luton 4-2.
Yeah. And like you said, the very thing that people liked about Luton was exactly what sent them down.
Yeah, and basically, both teams that played City in the build-up to the final weekend decided to save all their goals for the final day, rat bastards. Thanks a lot. You fucking dickheads.
We end up having a flurry of goals from about the 70th to the 75th as Wisa makes it 3-2.
Bro, this easily the second best goal, in my opinion, of the day. Little kind of chop back inside, I guess you'd call it. It wasn't really a graceful stride. It was kind of, he chopped the ball back, kind of jumped over a leg, had to take a longer step. But the way that he wrapped his foot around the ball and curled it into that far corner, it made Phil Foden's opening goal at West Ham look like fucking JV.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was dirty.
That's another one of those teams, because you don't just think about Ivan Toney. It's like, are you going to keep Wisa and are you going to keep Mbeumo? Like, they may be forced to pick up that contract of less pay because they're not going to have any other fucking strikers.
Yeah, 100%.
So along with that, but Newcastle turns right back around and answers as Bruno Guimaraes, after having the great assist, finishes off the Bees just 2 minutes later, and they get the win 4-2. Josh Cullen does get a goal for Burnley, but Forest did exactly what they needed to do. They held him off. They got there, and they are in for survival.
And that was a ridiculous deflection. I mean, Matt Sells had it easily covered. But one of the defenders overstretched and it hit off the inside of his leg and went back, and Sells was already essentially on the ground.
Yeah, you just watch it go the other way.
Very unfortunate. But other than that, Forrest never really looked in any sort of discomfort either.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fuck. I totally forgot, man. You was playing.
No shit, they were, huh?
Yeah.
You like how I left that one for you? I knew you'd appreciate to be able to talk about this one.
Absolutely. The other thing I have to say about this is, as we'll come on to close out, are we close out betting next week or this week?
Oh, we're closing out betting this week, yeah.
Yeah, so this would be a poignant place to say, Mel, you're off the hook since I had Villa or tie in my bet because, man, you fucked it off and decided to be good today.
Yeah.
For 8 minutes.
Yep.
But in this game, you have Dallo and Hoyland score right at the death to beat the Seagulls 2-0 in a very surprise Roberto De Zerbi last match, which was announced the day prior to the game.
Yeah, that
very
was
strange kind of timing. Yep. But they only matched the results of Chelsea and Newcastle, so no chance of movement on Brighton's part. I'm sorry, on Manchester United's part.
And we'll get to that a little bit here at the end. After dominating the entire match, Havertz finally puts Arsenal ahead 2-1 as the ref actually, for the first time I've ever seen, lets the call stand after looking at the TV.
Yeah, usually when they go to the screen, they're overturning it.
So I'll say this, and then we'll finish up the final thought there because we're right at the end of the day. We say this every time. It's a shit rule. The handball rule is shit because if that was a defender who did that, would have been called a handball.
I'm not sure. The reason I say that is, and I've heard two other people say this versus everybody else that's outraged.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's the end of the game. The game meant nothing.
So where does the arm end and the shoulder begin?
Right.
And the kind of arbitrary, and yes, it's arbitrary, point of that is the T-shirt rule.
Right.
Where if it's above the T-shirt line, it's shoulder.
Right.
Not arm.
Right.
So where Thomas Suchek volleyed that second goal for West Ham in with his forearm.
Right. With the forearm.
Very clearly below the T-shirt line.
Mm-hmm.
That was obviously him practicing out for the volleyball team.
Yeah.
That was very obviously a handball. The other piece to that, too, is that led directly to a goal. Mm-hmm. This did not.
This led to the buildup of the goal.
This led to the buildup of the goal.
Yeah, that's fair.
So automatic disallowed if it leads directly to a goal. If it's accidental or whatever by an attacker, like or this T-shirt thing.
There's no accident in it.
What I'm saying, his arm was against his body.
His arm was against his body, but he led, like what he used to move that ball was his arm.
Right. So the only thing I can think of is the stupid T-shirt thing, which I agree is arbitrary, but at least that's consistent.
So my argument there is, and again, the ultimate, I could give a fuck, right? Like, you guys were far and away the better team. You should have beaten us well earlier than that.
We hit the fucking post 3 times.
Shouldn't have come
crossbar
to,
one.
It should not have come to that. It should have been
absurd.
Over a long time ago. But if that ball is a ball that's bouncing across the center of the box, and James Tarkowski has his arm against him and does the exact same thing to put the ball down in front of him so he can clear it, would have been called a handball.
Probably.
The rules are different for a defender than it is for an attacker. And as we've said, them the rules, and we understand that. It's a shit rule. It's definitely
the arbitrary
rule.
T-shirt thing is kind of weird to me. But I guess you have to, quote-unquote, draw that line somewhere. But that's the only reason I can see that it would be given, is that it wasn't conclusive whether or not it was below the T-shirt. Because it did, on at least the television cameras, he had his body turned a bit.
Yeah.
So you couldn't really see that. So that's the only thing I can think of as to why it still stood. But
yeah, I mean, like I said, it ultimately meant fuck all.
Yeah.
Arsenal go on to win, but it means very little because as the whistle blows, City holds on to what is theirs and win their 4th straight title and their 8th so far in the Premier League era.
Yes, and also no other team in the history of British football has won 4 straight league titles.
Wow.
Not just the Premier League era.
Mm-hmm.
So they have achieved something fantastic. Obviously for them, it is, congratulations, well done. Can't wait for those charges to come to light properly. What I will say about that, I know we talked on Soundcheck a little bit with Mark about it. From discovering of issue to actual charging took 8 months for Everton's 1 charge. Took 7.5 months for Forest 1 charge.
Yeah.
took a further 5 months or whatever for Everton's second charge. So,
and there's already rumor that there's going to be another charge on Everton already.
Well, so there's 8 months from investigation to charge for the one thing, right? Another 3 months or whatever it was for hearing. Then you had the second charge come out a few weeks later. Then the appeal, then the second charge. I mean, it took 18 months almost to get everything resolved, and that was a total of 2 charges. Manchester City's case is complex. It covers different facets of the business, and there could be some extra criminality stuff against their owners because of falsification of documents, not just you fucked up. You also lied about fucking up.
Right.
So there could be extra punishments and extra things that aren't football related at all levied against the owners, like some sort of sanctions, some sort of fines, some sort of other things against them as individuals because of them lying on their reported papers.
Unfortunately, the problem that lies there is that there's still no real transparency from the league other than to say soon.
Yeah.
It's going to happen soon. Soon. When soon? Soon enough.
Right.
Like, whereas all the other cases, they're like, charges came out immediately. This is when the hearing is. This is when we're doing it. And again, like you said, there's a lot of fucking moving parts within all of this. But, you wonder if they're just trying to shuffle and delay to figure out the way to make it all go away.
I don't think they'll be able to make it all go away, but I don't know that they'll get dock points now.
Yeah, that's what you wonder,
Yeah.
Is do they just fine them a shit ton of money?
What's the year? Is it 2024?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got it. So basically, if you take the 8 months as a point that it took them to charge you with one thing, right? With 115 charges, that would be 920 months. 920 months is 76 years. And if you add that to 2024, they will finally be brought to court in the year 2100. So we'll all be long fucking dead.
We'll all be long fucking gone.
By the time City is held to account, the people in trouble will be long fucking dead.
So the 3 who came up are the 3 who go down. I don't think we're ultimately very surprised by that. I think some of us, myself included, thought maybe Burnley was going to have something to kind of show.
They made it interesting towards the end, but it took them too long to do that.
I think we're not surprised by who the people down near the bottom of the table were for the most part, are in and around there. I think we're all very surprised at how well Bournemouth and how well Palace did. I think we're all kind of surprised by that.
I'm not really surprised by Palace necessarily because those front 3 are so good. I thought they ultimately made the right decision finally getting rid of Hodgson at the time that they did. Because it allowed, and they got their search absolutely spot on with his replacement in Oliver Glasner, who kind of let the leash off those 3. But Roy Hodgson, remember, had long stretches of the season where he was without Elise and Eze due to injury.
Right.
So he was kind of hamstrung to an extent. But why Mateta wasn't playing over Jordan Ayew, I'll never know, because that was a bit ridiculous.
It's been forever for Villa being back in the Champions League, but they are
former winners of that competition.
Absolutely.
Years and years and years ago.
And you have Tottenham going to Europe. You have, they're going to Europa no matter what. You have Chelsea going to either the Conference League or Europa, depending on what happens in the FA Cup final.
Right.
It's very simple. As long as City wins the FA Cup, Chelsea and Newcastle go to Europe. If United win, Chelsea go to the Conference League, United goes to Europa, and Newcastle fucks right off and doesn't get to go to Europe. So there's still a lot to play for with that final. But what I want to do now is, honestly, everybody can make the stupid cliche of the, if you don't win, you lost, right? And everybody can be like, oh, well, you know what, Arsenal, you're the same spot we are. You didn't win. But no. It's a pretty fucking amazing season for you guys.
Yeah.
Certainly a lot better than last year. And last year was a pretty fucking amazing season for you. So the floor is yours, Mr. Graham.
Yeah, so everybody said last year what we did basically was prove that it wasn't a fluke, essentially. Right. We were kind of the unknown quantity. We were kind of the unknown, team last season. We pulled up some trees and did some amazing things. We came back this season. We added in the right spots. And we came back this season, and we now have the highest point total Arsenal have achieved. We eclipsed the Invincibles point total without winning the league. We scored the most goals Arsenal have ever scored in a Premier League season, and did it without really a proper number 9. It's just remarkable, really, the excitement I get on the weekends now, from where we were. I've always been excited for a game no matter what. I always support my boys no matter what. But it's a very different headspace when you're the guy on the outside looking in, but your expectations are still where they used to be.
Yeah. When I came into following Everton in 2009, 2010, you were at the tail end of Wenger, and it was just every season it'd be like the Wenger Cup, 3rd or 4th place, and then it would be which one of your young players are you losing to United or Barca? Which one of your guys are you losing to another Champions League team? Right.
And a lot of that was necessary because of funding the Emirates still and paying the Emirates off and those loans off. So we didn't end up like Everton.
Yeah, precisely.
Really, at the end of the day. But, now, of course, a lot of these rules weren't there. So our financing structures were a bit different, of course. But
I would assume because Mashiri came from the Arsenal era of when that was happening. I guarantee you some Uncle Uzmanov money was passed around on that stadium build.
Oh, I'm sure. But Kroenke has a shit ton of money too.
Yeah, precisely.
But besides that, you also have Arsene Wenger, who was probably the last proper manager where he was in charge of fucking everything at the club. The last proper manager that there was, also having a degree in economics.
Right.
You know what I mean? So he knew what he was doing. He did it. And he did things accordingly in conjunction with the board rather than try to fight them on stuff.
Right.
Which seems to be what brought De Zerbi's time to an end. Was, kind of he wanted to build a squad. Brighton don't want to spend money. So they decided to part ways. But yeah, it was, all that kind of stuff happened. But those expectations that I had, in the middle into late high school when I started following my boys, when we were, 2002, won a double, went invincible in 2004, and won the Premier League.
We're going to do this every fucking year.
Wenger, in my time, I was a witness to 5 of the 7, I think, maybe 6 of the 7 FA Cups that Wenger won in his time with Arsenal. It was just, we got complacent, we got used to it, and it was always, just like United had struggled, it was always going to be difficult when a man like that left. Liverpool may go through it soon with what's happening with Jurgen, obviously. But now, obviously, he wasn't as long tenured as Wenger or Sir Alex were.
Right, of course.
But he's had just as much of an influence on that football club as they had.
Absolutely.
And I don't know what they're going to get. They're going to be moving on some big stars, I'm sure. Salah seems like he's kind of one foot out the door to Saudi, potentially. Few of those sorts of things. But those expectations have finally come full circle. And Liverpool fans will know this feeling very well after not going after a title for 30 years to Jurgen bringing it back for them, asterisk COVID, but still got them a title.
Right.
So our drought hasn't been as severe, but almost has. This is now 20 years. We haven't won the title. It's been since the Invincibles. We haven't won the title.
Right.
But we're starting to finally shake the Invincibles tag and reclaim the Arsenal way and the Arsenal identity. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to feel like you're a part of it. And
also playing very modern football. You can tell Arteta is a Pep disciple.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. And it's just the way he talks. And he's, everybody talks about, we made great progress. We did this, that, the other. And Arteta said it in his final interview of the season. He said, this wasn't progress. And he laid out all those things that I said for you at the start of this. That's history. We made history. Pep's Man City have set the standard so fucking high that you need near perfection to win, which is both undesirable and unattainable because the jeopardy of sport no longer really exists because they control 99 out of the 100 controllables.
Right.
And it makes football kind of boring, right? But that gold standard is what you're striving to fight for, and we actually improved on what City did last season.
Yeah.
If City did the exact same season they did last year, we would have won the league by 1 goal on goal difference. this season. If we did what we did this season and they did what they did last season.
Right.
So we improved technically on what they did.
But it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. They rose the bar to that much more. We went undefeated for the first time, I think, since the Invincibles against the traditional Big Six this season. We took 4 points off Spurs, 4 points off City, 6 off United, 6 off Chelsea. No, we drew Chelsea early in the season, I think 2-2. So 4 off Chelsea, and there's one more that I can't think of. Liverpool.
Yeah.
We took 4 off Liverpool. We did draw Fulham early in the season and lose to Fulham at Craven Cottage. Both of those are probably ones you can point to. Title's ours.
Yep.
We lost to West Ham at home.
Yep.
Title's ours.
There it is.
Now, the West Ham one especially, we had loads and loads and loads of chances. It just was one of those days where we couldn't score a fucking goal to save our lives. We put every attacker we had on the field, I think, at one point, and couldn't score a goal. But it's those games that make or break you. And, yeah.
So, Mr. Graham, I'm going to do my shot of Malört to your team. I had no problem losing to you. Fuck it, we were safe.
Appreciate that. Could have made it a little less stressful for me, but...
Well, I mean, we were,
West Ham could have made it more stressful for me. Would have been nice.
That was a dice team, and we made it difficult, and we didn't roll over and die, right? You think about what happened with Frank Lampard after we survived.
Yeah, no,
and you
exactly.
Guys just beat the ever-living shit out of us.
I think it was. Yeah,
the boys went out there and played a match, and I was happy with that. And one little pot shot at the league is, you give us back those points, we finish in 12th place. Next time, just fine us $12 million. Because that hurts the owner. Take it out of their pocketbook. The points only hurt the fans.
Yeah.
That's who it hurts.
I mean,
that's all it hurts.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So, alrighty. Mel, you got anything from the sewing circle?
Yeah, before you guys move on, Shore Billy is quite upset you didn't bring up the goal at Newcastle.
We brought up every single goal. Talked about all 4.
That's what I'm trying to tell him. But
he talked about all 4 of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Jacob Murphy scored, didn't he?
Yeah, we said Murphy and Isaac. I mean, we didn't go into those 2 goals, but we went into Guimarães and we went into Barnes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Talked about all 4 of them, buddy.
What one would you like us to talk about?
He's got to catch up.
All right,
So go ahead and take your shot while we're waiting,
Cheers.
Houston.
Cheers.
I was going to toast you there, stud.
I got you. Sorry. Cheers. For me, while you're taking the shot, the final point I'll finish on Arsenal with is in a situation like we found ourselves on Sunday.
Not going to miss you, my lord.
The most important... You'll have a lot to do next year, too.
For Blues matches? No?
Oh, yeah, when Blues lose. But
Blues aren't
doesn't
gonna
appear
lose.
that's going to happen. They've got a plus 604 goal differential already.
And we beat our rivals yesterday 1-0 and just won a game. Well, fucking nothing.
That's what I'm saying. You got a plus 600 goal differential.
The bullshit overturned VAR.
Oh, no, that was legit.
Yeah, it was legit. You won 4-2. Quit bitching
Right,
about it.
shut up. Just enjoy it. You might be in Europe if Manchester United continues to suck.
Yeah, that's what you go for.
I almost kind of hope, and I feel bad about this, but I almost kind of hope Manchester United does win the FA Cup. Because that means Eric Ten Hag has a better chance of keeping his job. Which is just best for the rest of the league.
We want everybody to have him keep his job.
100%.
Exactly.
But anyway, the thing I wanted to finish on with Arsenal is in that situation that we found ourselves in on Sunday, all you can ask of the boys is do your job. Don't focus on what's going on elsewhere. Don't do anything else. Just do what you're meant to do and control what you can control, and that's what they did. And at the end of the day, you can't be mad at it. What you don't want is to have the chance and let it slip because you couldn't focus. And it was very difficult, and it's not the fans' fault, but the fans made it more difficult with the energy ebbing and flowing with every piece of news that came through over the radio about what was happening in the City game, and never really got what seemed like the atmosphere that's been generated at the Emirates wasn't as... It was very tense. It was very up and down and up and down.
Yeah, and us being assholes just kept singing Spirit of the Blues and shit like that, just being kind of just like,
Right.
oh, fuck it.
We
Y'all
don't
ain't making
care.
no noise. We're going to sing.
And the players kind of, it seemed, kind of fed on that and took their eye off it. But at the end of the day, they did do their job, and that's all you can ask. And I'm very proud.
Sure money.
I lost by a fucking mile, man. By a fucking mile.
Mel, grab the trash can, please.
If you want to try to stuff that in the trash can.
It's not that much.
Guys,
It fit in just
this
fine.
isn't injury time.
Mister. Yeah, exactly. It's done. It's done, Mel.
And it only took 90 seconds.
There we are.
That is real talk.
Actually, no, Graham, much faster. The Cup of Losers is now empty because the season is over, but I am there with you, Mr. Graham. I missed on 2 of my 10. I got 8 of them right, though 2 I missed is I figured Brighton was going to fuck over United.
Yep.
And I thought Villa was going to fuck. And Villa,
I thought that those are the same 2 I missed because I thought Villa wanted to end the season on a high.
Yeah.
Well,
And Unai Emery ditched the tie and everything. He didn't seem to give a fuck either.
No, and Emmy is hurt, and so that was, Olsen.
So I finished the year down $778.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know that 23.596241% of the time, it worked 100% of the time? It was a foolproof plan, my friend.
Every time I'm waiting for it to be 7 or like one of those long numbers, and it's not been that for a while.
No, it hasn't been that for a while at all. Not at all.
I don't have.
Now,
Well, Pat didn't have
He
anything.
didn't email.
Well, then nothing.
I don't know where he finished. Probably lost to you.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
lost me. Yeah,
Pat is down
of the humans,
$600.
I beat everybody again. So that's 2 years in a row that I beat everybody.
Yep, but what you failed to realize is I've got 2,947 in free play tokens, so technically I'm even. JK.
Yeah,
It
JK.
didn't happen. Nope. Sure did.
Not going to bother with the music and everything. Kitty missed with Burnley. She finishes at 20-16, which is way better than all 3 of us. So
Big time.
yeah, Kitty got it done.
Yeah.
We all sucked.
Insider trading.
Well, and what should everybody always remember to do when it comes to that, Mel?
Fuck off.
Okay, very good.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Gamble legally and responsibly.
Yeah, that one we have to do.
And if you don't, then fuck off.
All right, Graham, go ahead. Parting words. Talk about the grinning fucking idiot.
Okay, so the Premier League is all about characters.
Copites or gobshites, get stepping, bitch.
That's what we want. We want characters. As much as I didn't care for him while he was there, Jose Mourinho, fucking character, great manager. Pep Guardiola, fucking weirdo, but still a character. Can't stand him, but he's there. Jurgen Klopp, lovable weirdo. Is a great manager. Came in, talked about heavy metal football, talked about all these kind of things that nobody'd ever seen, and because it's really hard to fucking do. The reason you see people play like Pep Guardiola's Man City is because you can tactize football passes and shapes and triangles and things.
Mm-hmm.
What you can't, counter pressing and the high press and the overlapping, you cannot account for that. That takes into account so many different facets of players' games. It is very, very difficult system to run in general, and somehow he got Liverpool to fucking perfect it.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody that could put a dent in Guardiola's Man City is okay in my book. I think we, as a show, we as a Premier League watching public, are all going to be worse off for Jurgen not being there. We got a lot of memes. We got a lot of sound bites. We got a lot of things that at the time annoy us, though the wind is too windy. But that shit's fucking funny.
Felt it was windy like crazy. People love when I talk about the wind, but it was windy and it's not good for football. And so we had really to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I'm gonna miss that. What I don't like is like robot Thomas Tuchel coming in and going, this situation. It's like, oh fuck, nobody cares, man. As much as it pisses me off, he escaped punishment for running into the center circle to hug Allison.
Oh, that one really pisses me off.
He should have been punished for it.
Yeah.
If he got punished for it, it would have allowed us to enjoy it a little bit more.
Right, and let him bitch about beans that I was in the moment. Why can't I enjoy it?
But that's Mourinho running down a touchline and knee sliding in an Armani suit. I fucking love that kind of stuff, man. I really do. It's enjoyable, and it's gonna be sad that he's gone. It's gonna be very sad that he's gone. You should YouTube it. His locker room speech after the game was leaked by somebody on YouTube, so you should definitely check that out. It is, as pretty much everything he does, raw and off the cuff.
Probably leaked by him.
I don't think it was. I thought
He's got a camera in those veneers.
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't point of view is the problem. They could have used the big dentist arm that the light's on, I guess. What I really did like the tributes to him. I think that he left a mark on that football club, and that football club have left a mark on him. and I think he leaves the shirt in a better place than when he found it. And as I said about Manchester United multiple times this and last season, when Liverpool Football Club are good because the historic size and nature of that club, when they are good and fighting for things, the league as a whole is better. When Manchester United are good, when Arsenal are good, when Chelsea are good, and they started to at the end of the season, that is better for the entirety of the league. There's more eyes on the league. There's more money coming into the league. There's more everything in the league. I mean, that's why the Premier League got their $2 billion payout from American TV alone, and it's because of these characters. It's because of this drama. It's because of these ridiculous interviews. It's because of all this fun shit. And I, for one, am going to miss him. I hope they replace him with somebody equally as psycho, because if not, we're going to miss a lot of memes and a lot of sound bites, and we won't be adding too many more buttons to that board if they're a fucking robot.
Well, the Feyenoord coach has been running around saying, I'm going to Liverpool, I'm going to Liverpool, I'm going to Liverpool. So
is this old slot?
Yeah.
He's going to slot right in there, is he?
Yep, he'll be.
Think so?
If that's the dude, that's already kind of, he's already geared up to be like that.
Well, the best part about it, too, will be a Dutch derby in Liverpool United.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for that in a heartbeat.
Heard.
I'll do that big time.
All right.
But so we're going to miss you, Jurgen. Enjoy your time off, and I'm sure you'll be employed by Bayern in about, 6 months.
Yeah, I think maybe De Zerbi's been, when De Zerbi fucks it off at Bayern. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up being the German national coach for the next World Cup.
It could, but the other thing with him is he likes that day-to-day so much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he could.
Yeah.
His carbon footprint would be worse than Taylor Swift's.
Heard. Very good. Very good. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap it up. We do have one more show next week. We do our predictions, which we wrote down and put into envelopes at the start of the year.
The envelope.
Yeah, and we'll talk about who we thought our 5 worst signings were and who our 5 best signings were. We'll, of course, recap the FA Cup final as well. And as I always like to say, put a bow on the season.
Yep.
And tonight there is no injury time. We are going to do an injury time next week, but that's going to be because during the summertime, we're going to be doing Europe for all of our Patreon listeners, the European competition.
Yes.
And we're going to do a preview for that next week to get that ball rolling for that.
Sounds good.
And, of course, next is going to be the EFL show, a very short show because we only got 4 games to talk about.
There's some shenanigans that we should talk about, though, briefly.
Okay.
We'll talk about it on that show.
I like that.
Sounds like a winner. For.
So should somebody want to check out all of our European coverage over the summer, Mr. Graham, how do they go about doing that?
It's very simple, really. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $1 tier. You get all of our extra content.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the only way you can access those European Championship shows.
Very good.
Because until then, the reason I drank Corona tonight, I'm on the beach, baby.
You're on the beach. Very good.
Come on.
Till next week, everybody.
Guten Nacht, Jürgen.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of Malört. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!